Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. I can't even say it. I can't. It's like a tongue twister. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. No, it wasn't a tongue twister. Why couldn't this? I don't know. Who cares? Right now, here is my spoiler talk review for episode 1. Welcome to Durbania, I'm Durbin, and this is my spoiler talk review for Netflix's Lost in Space Episode 1, Impact. This episode did its job. I'm interested. I'm interested to see where this show is going to go, the plot threads that they opened up and started with this. I'm very curious to see where each thread is going to lead. Now, I haven't watched the original Lost in Space show, so I can't really compare tones, but I do remember that Lost in Space movie that had Joey from Friends as one of the lead people in that movie, and I feel like just in this first episode alone, the tone is heavier and a bit darker than that movie. I mean, it's still the Robinson family. It's still not a TVMA show on Netflix, so obviously it's not that dark. I'm just saying it had a heavier feel to it than I remember even the movie having back in the day. But I enjoyed that. Part of what contributed to that heavier feel is we see that Mr. and Mrs. Robinson, John and Maureen, their marriages hit hard times. You know, he's an army dude, and he goes on these classified missions. He's climbing the ranks, so he's hardly ever home. So there's, like, tension there. And I'm betting there's more than just that, so it'll be me getting to the rest of the show to get filled in on this backstory. So I am anxious to get that and understand the full backstory as to what is the distance between husband and wife. But you feel that distance as you're watching this episode. Like, you could tell that they do love each other and they love their family very much, so that helps warm things up a bit. But you feel that distance. You feel it in the very opening scene, and I liked how this episode opened with their ship crashing. Like, they have detached from the big ship, their ship is crashing on the planet, but they're trusting the computer to land the ship. I don't know that I'd have that much trust for computer, knowing how much my computer freezes up all the time, knowing how much 1 minute I do something on my computer and it works, 1 minute later I go to do the same thing and it's deciding, oh no, this doesn't work, reboot the whole computer, and then it's a 50-50 shot if this is gonna work. So they must live in a time with really advanced computers where they don't have to worry about that, because that would be a big worry for me. But they're playing Go Fish as a family, as the ship, as their ship, their Jupiter is crashing. They're just playing Go Fish, which was a really cool scene because all at once you felt the distance between husband and wife. You kind of felt the distance with Judy and, you know, how she's feeling that distance. You kind of felt the awkwardness around the table. You also felt their nervousness for, are we going to crash? Are we going to be okay? And plus, you know, zero gravity cards, you know, all of a sudden the one card is floating and goes boom right on the table as it's crashing. So all of that was incredibly well done. Another thing awesome about the show is it looks good. Netflix has a great budget and they know how to make these shows look good. So this show looks really, really good. The other plot line that has me really interested was, I mean, you have the distance between husband and wife, which you have Judy then, who is acting out, and I can understand that. And so you have Will, who freezes up when the pressure's on. Judy knows this, so she jumps in the water to swim into the ship and get the extra batteries that they need. While she's almost to the surface, the water freezes, and she's stuck there in the ice. I thought that was a really good and smart, clever plot line, because Judy, while I understand her acting out, was also irritating me. But then to put her in peril like that, and to put her in that position, and put everybody in that crisis, it kind of softened that irritation and maybe like, oh my gosh, get her out of there. Like, you know she's not going to die, but you wonder how are they going to get her out, and how are they going to get her out in time. So they did a really good job with that plot thread. Then you have John and Will, and they're going up to this glacier to get magnesium, and so Will falls down this passageway through the glacier and comes out in this lush green wooded area and supposedly finds an alien spaceship. So that was a really cool plot thread that he found that, and this is where he meets the robot that goes, "Danger, Will Robinson, danger!" And he thinks it's going to get him, and I thought it was going to get him too, because you only get half the robot and only its legs running after him, so I thought that was really cool. And he climbs the tree, and the legs almost get up there. But it turns out the upper half of it somehow crashed on that branch, and he's split in half, so the legs aren't after Will, they're after the upper half. And so he's scared of this thing till this little butterfly thing lands on his shoulder, and then the robot guy lands on his finger. And so there's kind of a bonding that happens there. Then the woods catches on fire, and Will's like, okay, well, at least one of us could live. And he saves the robot, which in turn the robot saves him. And so they become friends, and then the robot comes and he saves Judy. And so, like, it's a really cool scene. The robot looks awesome. The CGI on that is great. So I really like the character, you know, a character that has no face and hardly talks, but but they did a really good job with just that moment on the tree branch where Will saves him, and there's that kind of bonding moment. It's like, yeah, I could buy Will and this robot become really good friends. So what's the alien ship? Is it the robot ship? What is that? So, like, that's a cool little plot thread that they've left open there that I'm really excited to dive into. The other thing interesting is that Will failed the colonist program because he freezes up under pressure, so he didn't pass. And so I guess the family wasn't going to go. Everybody else passed, but Will didn't. But the mom made a deal with the devil. We don't really know who the devil is. I bet you it's Smith, but, you know, the lady that takes the identity Smith. So I bet you it's her, but she makes a deal with the devil over the internet. So she sends some information, we don't know what it is yet, and that information was valuable enough to this devil that all of a sudden Will has now passed and is in the colony program. So that was interesting. And then suddenly the mothership is being attacked by the robot that Will finds in the woods. Dun, dun, dun! That was a really good twist. So maybe Will softened the heart of the robot, so now the robot is on their side. But then why was that robot there? And why was it blowing up the mothership? What was its goal? What was its purpose? Is the robot there because of the mom? Because of the info mom sent the devil? That mom sent Smith? I don't know! So, like, things like that are really cool, the way that they set up the plot points to move forward and to get you attached and hooked. So I'm hooked. And I do kind of like the flashbacks. I mean, I got really annoyed in Arrow when they kept doing the flashbacks, but Season 1 and Season 2, the flashbacks flowed with the show. And so far in this first episode, the flashbacks flow with the show. They help fill in the background. It looks like a meteor hit the Earth and wasn't like an extinction level event, but the atmosphere is really bad. They're walking around wearing gas masks. They walk into a store, hang up the mask, they pick up the mask, go back out. So, like, it shows you, like, there's definitely something going on with Earth. Or is it the Earth is that badly polluted, but the meteor hasn't struck yet? Ooh. But the meteor's on the way, so they're all gonna die. See, I just need to watch the rest of this show. So I feel like this show's done a good job raising questions that I want answered. So I thought the first episode was really, really good, and I'm excited to dive into the rest of this show. So, if you watched episode 1, Impact, what did you think? Let me know in the comments, and while you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian, and hit the bell by the subscribe button so you're notified the next time I drop a movie review, theological analysis, or when I drop my review of the entire Season 1. So hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.